Hey guys, this is just gonna be a quick little video. It's pretty much the cut content from the vlog I uploaded on Friday. It's about a conversation that my son and I had. I have so many of these stories, so if you guys want more, be sure to comment down below, like this video, all that fun stuff. And yeah, let's get right into it. The funny stories that my kids tell me, because like there's been a few. Like, Hunter has predicted that the world is going to end this summer, pretty much. He thinks that the earth is going to flood. I'll just tell you guys that story now. So, Hunter comes up with the weirdest conversation topics when we're driving home from school or from anywhere, really. And so, recently, I think it was like last month or the month before, we were driving home from Science North. It was March break. We were coming home from Science North over March break. And he asked me what would happen if the earth blew up. And I said, oh, well, we would probably die. And, like, we would definitely die because the earth would blow up. And he's like, oh, well, what if we lived on the moon? And I said, oh, well, if we lived on the moon, we would probably still die because of shrapnel from the earth. Ow, my foot. I just kicked something. From shrapnel from the earth, and also just, like, the sheer force of it blowing up. And he's like, oh. And then I said, yeah, but it's more likely that the sun would blow up before the earth, just because it's a ball of fire and all that other stuff. And he's like, oh, okay. And then somehow we got on the topic of stars and how their sun's just really far away and stuff like that. And then he asked me what would happen if the earth flooded. And I was like, oh, well, if all the, like, ice caps melted, we would probably still be fine because of where we are landmass wise in Canada. And he was like, no, what if just, like, everything was covered in water? And I was like, oh, okay. Do you know the story of Noah's Ark? Because they used to go to a Catholic school, so they know a couple of the stories from the Bible. Now they're in the public system. Just because that's what happened when we moved. We ended up doing that just because the school got a hold of us. It was pretty much the same reason that they ended up going to the Catholic school. The school got a hold of us first and gave us a tour first, and that's just the one we went with. So we talked about Noah's Ark a bit and how we would probably have to live on a boat and stuff. And he's like, oh, well, how would we get food? And I'm like, oh, well, we would probably have to fish. And he's like, Mommy, do you know how to fish? And I was like, no. He's like, you should learn how to fish before this summer. And I was like, okay. So, if the earth ends up flooding, I guess my 7-year-old is a prophet. I don't know. Some of the stories are just, interesting, to say the least.